Hello and welcome to another part of Pillars of Eternity Definitive Edition Blind Playthrough. And the last episode we just finished the final fight in the Redrig's Hold with the owner or the lord of the big hold, and trying after him trying to convince us to get into his cause, my character did decide to rather side up with Kolst, and unfortunately, it was not compatible with the views of the Redrig himself. So, in the end, we had to enter a fight, and after getting few of our characters to the brink of death, we emerged victorious. So, today I hope we can get into Defiance Bay and probably do some more buildings for our stronghold. So let's continue right away and enjoy the game as much as I do. So this is the place where the last fight happened, and I did not check the loot. This one is pretty interesting, and I think this might be a good option for Kana, even though I think I could use more crushing weapons because probably too many slashing weapons are in my party. Anyway, this one to learn is probably good idea, and I can put all the Priest of Berat robes into my stash to make a little bit free in the or in my inventory. Let's check how this looks like. Yeah, I like this one more. Okay, and last thing to check the journal. Um, Good. So now I should
Certainly.
visit Nedmar. We heard that you had moved against the keep, and yet we have arrived too late. But a moment earlier, and I would have heard his dying breath. No matter. It is done. The tyrant is dead, and our village is free to move into a greater future. Kill that whale owes you a great debt. I owe you a great debt. You have accomplished what I could not. Take what rewards you care from Redrick's vaults. You have earned them twice over. Kolsch looks over to the throne room smiling. There is much to do. We must send word to Earl, of course. Revoke the cruel laws Redrick has instated. But do not think we will forget your assistance. You have brought about great change. Take pride. Everyone will remember this moment. Come, men, clear these bodies from the hall. With that, Cole strides eagerly towards the throne. Quest completed. Lord Rederick the Seventh is dead. Kolch is now free to claim Rederick's hold and its surrounding lands, including Gilded Vale. So, before we leave here, I think I'll go speak to Ned Martz again and probably visit Gilded Vale and Magram's Fork. So, let's go around the keep a little bit.
And what does the flame reveal?
Oh, this looks like Redrick's wife. Blood still wet runs from the woman's slit throat, soaking in the sheets below. Trap.
What have we here?
And a ring of overseeing. What does it do? Plus 10% ability area of effect. Um, I think this might be a good thing for the stun spell of my cipher. If not, probably kinda might be a good choice for this ring as well.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
Blackened pages curl in the fire. A leather cover embossed with a rising sun and 3 stars is barely visible through the flames.
Margaret's fire casts light in dark places.
"50 max endurance and 50 max health for 45 seconds." Interesting charge. Pistol. Let's put it here.
I shall make it so. It's done.
And another ring of overseeing. Oh, wrong move. I think Kana might be a good choice for that. Thus, the old ledgers record the taxes paid on farmsteads in Gilded Vale as far back as 2632.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
We are back in the dungeons, but this is the place which should be opened with this Oidra, or how was her name? So let's go back. Nothing to see there. Move along. Ghost is here. Forgive me, friend, there is much to do, but we will not forget what you have done for us. Okay, let's go to Nedmar for a small talk, if we will get anything from him or not, and then explore the rest of the keep. Pardon me, I'm busy. Nedmar. And so Gilded Vale has its new Thane. I will trust that you have chosen wisely. Okay. That's it on this floor. And let's check the remaining rooms and then move to Gilded Vale. Redregard still alive. May Berath wisdom save us. Lore book.
Now here's something.
Hmm. The joints are fringed with rust. The emblem on the breastplate is of a tree with broad, heart-shaped leaves. Another lore book. And another one.
Slow and silent.
A lot of experience needed for another level. May Berath wisdom save us. Okay, that's the place we were already.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
Okay, thankfully I did not decide to go with the front door. This would be extensive fight for sure. Let's check this one. I kinda like this helm for fashion pillars more than anything else. No. No. Mage with the coal is much better choice.
Let's see what lies this way.
The joints are fringed with rust. The emblem on the breastplate is of a tree with broad hair-shaped leaves. I was there as well. Let's go here. The same emblem. Is there no hidden area here? Yeah.
Laying low.
Probably not. Yeah, I'm maybe just too much paranoid.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
Apologies, I'm on a duty. Okay, this is the last place which we still need to check out. And then we can go to Gilded... No, first to Magran Fork and then to Gilded Vale. Aye, so many soldiers still alive. Rainwater twitching with tiny larvae sloshes in the barrel.
Slow and silent.
Mead. The air in the stable is heavy with bat dung. What is this? Have I missed something? Not really. Ah, the courtyard. Of course.
I'm on the trail.
Ouch. He got hit to the head during the fight with Ghost. Okay. Magram's fork. Let's check the small tower there. Library complete. Okay, we have a lot of money, so I think the next logical steps will be barracks. Yeah. Let's check this. One NPC was talking that he might go to Fork, so let's see if he's here or not. Yes, Jacko. Jacko seems much improved for his time out of dungeon, though a few fading bruises linger. It's good to see you again. I don't know if I can ever really thank you enough for your help. Getting here was a little more exciting than I'd hoped. What with all the wolves, but Kulsh and the others have been helping me. I'll be back in the thick of it soon enough. He smiles brightly. And then maybe I can return the favor. Right? What is this place? Used to be someone's home, I suppose. No, it's where we meet. Sometimes Kulch says it was abandoned when they found it. It's not all that secret, is it? But I suppose it's far enough away from the hold. Forever.
Hmm?
So,
Certainly.
let's talk with some villagers about new situation. No more death brace. At least one positive change. Argit gapes at you. You're the one who murdered old Redrick on behalf of that cretinous traitor, he sniffs. I'm sure you understand your request for housing and land is completely out of my hands now. Thankfully, I do have my own house now. Please don't cry. We'll give them a good burial. That's all we can do. You'd think these rains would be a boon for the crops. Scattered between the roots are breadths of twine and bead wilting flowers and notes half erased by the rain. Let's go to the inn.
Hail and well met.
Hello again. Come to rest your feet a while? I'd like a room, please. Still for free? Okay. Anything interesting? I completely forgot that I can do some recipes. Maybe later. But let's talk to Durance.
What?
If he has something new to say. Your face is full of need, Durance snorts. It looks to burst if you didn't speak. I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
I wanted to ask about the region and its history. Is that all? Let's keep moving and let's talk with him again.
What? If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
Where? Okay.
I suspect the answers will seed more questions.
Okay, tell me about Magran. That's all I wanted to discuss. Looks like nothing new is
Yes?
open for him at the moment. So, what quest? This is for Defiance Bay. This is for the Endless Path, and the long is for trying to Persok. And we need to find somebody at the overlooking the water at the cliffs. So,
Oh?
currently there are only two options at the moment. And it's Modern Bridge and Stormwall Gorge. So let's check this one first. And then go to Sedna for a sleep. And maybe check the Stonewall Bridge later. Solmar the Shekel requests an audience with you at the stronghold. He will go in 8 days. So I see if we can meet him there or not. Okay, let's check here and here if we can find Persok or not. Probably not. No. No, I don't think he will be here. Okay, let's go to Kednoa.
Walls need some work before this place is secure. My husband could fix them right up.
Okay, so we got achievement for the barracks construction completed for 5 stuff. Let's see. Solmar the Shekler. Let's check the library first and try to find one guy, the Shekler. The new shells smell rich with freshly cut timber. Okay, there is still much work to do here. Anything new to build? I think this one. Yes. And then to save a little bit.
A few repairs and this keep will be a sight to see.
Don't you tell. Solmar the Shackler. Okay. Let's do this and talk to him. At last, I'm glad you're here, my lord. My name is Solmar. I've a matter of some importance to discuss, if you have the time. Very well, let's hear it. You gesture for your allies to join you and take your place upon your throne. I'll cut to the meat of it. I have a dozen Orlan slaves in Port Girara. Good, healthy stock that will fetch a fine price examital if I can get a ship up to the coast. That's the tricky part. I haven't got the coin to stock a ship for the whole journey, not without docking at Deerwood port along the way and running the risk of having my goods seized. Really, these Deerwood laws are completely impractical for any honest merchant traveling outside of Defiance Bay. I hoped you could be of some assistance. You're not originally from the Deerwood, I hear, so surely you understand. But you completely forgot that I am Orlan. I cannot help you with this at the moment. So let's check the other. I think you should continue up the coast. Continue as before? That seems unwise, I'm afraid. We've taken care to avoid foul weather, but we can do little about any meddling officials at the port. No, on second thought, perhaps not. No, I will not help the slaver. Not with my character.
It is good to see you here. I can feel a change in the air already. There is much to do. Is there anything I can do to help?
What is the state of the keep? People are starting to notice your hard work. I dare say we'll have more visitors shortly. I'm glad you decided to stay on, my lord. It's been difficult watching this place tumble into decay time and again. To see it restored is, I can imagine the great crowds, the petitioners, music, perhaps in the evenings. Oh, I've gotten carried away, haven't I? Here's the report. Okay, no hirelings for now. Let's just go and sleep. Oh, library.
Could sleep half of Masuk in here, including our foxes.
A lot of lore books.
Laying low.
Let's check if there is something hidden here as well. Now after I have repaired it. This map shows the Dirward's old colonial borders. A settlement called New Dunrit is marked in the place of present-day Defiance Bay.
Laying low.
And let's check the barracks. The three greasing playing cards are hidden under the coverlet. Here is Moonshine, resting.
Hello? Hello?
A sketch of a young elven woman with large eyes and a small fine nose is tucked under the pillow.
Walls need some work before this place is secure. My husband could fix them right up.
Okay, time to get some nap before traveling more. For how many minutes do we have here? Only one, so let's library bonus.
Certainly.
Walls need some work before this place is secured. My husband could fix them right up.
Okay, I wanted to skip the copper line for a few more moments, but I think I don't have any more options. Yeah, let's go to copper line.
Defiance Bay. The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by Whitewind's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
One more achievement for the end of the first act. And it is night, so we slowly visit everything here.
And what does the flame reveal?
Let's see if we can find anything hidden here as well.
Those walls surround the whole city?
Only the best soldiers get to patrol the base. These animancers have brought the venom wrath upon us all, and yet the duck and his toadies in the Crucible Knights do nothing. Can we allow these atrocities to continue unchecked? No. Let's talk to Rowan then. Down with animancy!
Good day to you.
Rowan's arms are crossed and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. He sighs you up. New in town, eh? You've picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacy no better here. It's the Animancers, Magran Scourgem, and they nest in this city like rats. You mark my words, though. Us dozens are gonna put up a stop to it. What are you doing here? He gestures at the crowd, which buzzes with angry chatter, trying to get folk to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke is granting Animancers dangerous liberties. What do you know about animancy? It's the study and manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Adherents at least had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul reading those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Anglican times, which is why you'll see Animancers tinkering with old Anglican artifacts. Connor raises a fist to cough discreetly into it. Half-truth, all. But he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. He shakes his head. Trouble. is the Animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. Our emphatic friend is correct about one thing at least. Tell me about the dozens. He taps his chest. We're an organization of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animancers and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seeing as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Just like a militia, the dozens, except for the training, and the discipline, and the code of honor. His eye gleams, and we're always looking to expand. The more people say things are right, the better for the state of the country. You have any interest in hearing more? Stop by Admas Den sometime. The expedition hall. Lot of free thinkers in there. Can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the animances want you to believe. Might even be some paid work for motivated types. I'd like to know more about Defiance Bay. This is the capital of the Free Palatinate of the Deerwood. We started out as the capital of an Adiran colony, but we whooped the flaccid scepter from these lands 150 years ago. These days, we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world. But we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that earned us our freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copper Lane, First Fires, Andra's Gift, Brackenbury, and Heritage Hill. He ticks each off on a closed finger. Tell me about Copper Lane. This here is Copper Lane. He taps a scuffed boot on the cobblestones. It's primarily a market district, but you also got the expedition hall directly north of here, where you can join treks into the wilds. That's also where my fellow dozens martyrs and I tend to meet up with other concerned citizens. He points to a long dome building west and north of your position, and that's the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Eerie place, you ask me, but they've got the biggest library in the Deerwood. Canaloth. Eerie indeed. It might be less if more kith step inside. Perhaps we ought to visit Mamolian and see just what mysteries are revealed. Tell me about Brackenbury. A noise of disgust rattles in his throat. The nobility that didn't sail back to Aether stayed there. Most of the families there trace their lineage back to the old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you've got Hadridaus, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenbury Sanitarium, the main cesspit of animancy in the city. He spits on the cobblestones. Tell me about First Fires. That's where the revolution started, hence the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace, the Wayland Embassy, and Crucible Keep. He shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they're just strutting peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles and their heads up, their asses. There's an old temple of Vodica there too. We kept it real nice for her, he winks. So the first fires might be the next place to go, because we are trying to get to the temple of Vodica. Tell me about Ondra's gift. Got the name because it was a wetland that was drained back in the imperial days. Now it's a city district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place too, if you know where to look. He winks and elbows you. Look for a place called the Salty Must when you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Tell me about Heritage Hill. He shivers. It used to be one of the more prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plots up there, next to an ancient Anglican tower and the city cemetery. Had the best views in Defiance Bay. Attracts richer types these days. Lot of animancy patrons. He spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple months ago. The authorities sealed it off and they're keeping their mouth shut. But mark my words, Animance is to blame. Never mind, let's talk about something else. What do you wanna know? Forever.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
What's the turn? 5 hours in the morning. We're responsible for the safety of every person in the city. Good to know. So let's check this first little bit and then go maybe to the Hall of Adventurers, or how they call it.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Goose and Fox. Okay, so let's check the inn first. The Goose and Fox. This Stelger spelled thick with dust and moth. The plague below the beast reads, Maiden falls to 682. Okay, let's check this first. Errol of Levy looks on enigmatically from the canvas. Lively place, isn't it? We'll see. You'll find all sorts. Everyone's a philosopher here. Are you here for some words of wisdom too? That miserable bastard. It's a good place to unwind between jobs sometimes. I even find new ones. A dragon is outlined in charcoal pencil. The thick, jagged lines and the faint smell of sulfur suggest that the artist completed the sketch in a hurry. Cliff Dragon, White March, 2685. So, let's check it first and then talk to Kenra. Okay, bet to steal. Hate to say it, but the legacy's been good for business. I've come to talk some sense into this fellow, I hope. The painting depicts Glenfattan ruins, and the canvas bears the rough brushstrokes of a talented amateur, Ibrel's Well, 2665. A dwarf and a Norland debate philosophy on the other side of the curtain. Okay, so let's speak to Kenra. A woman sits by herself, spinning something on the table in front of her and watching it with furious intensity. It's about the size of a coin, and it wobbles over a crack in the wood with a metallic rattle. She snatches it up with one hand and slams a half-empty cup down on the table with the other. It's not a good time. You look like you could use another drink. I'll get there. She takes a long drink from her glass, just trying to calm down and trying to talk myself out of something foolish. Something foolish? She says nothing for a few moments, as if hoping you leave. At least, Kendra looks up at you, and lamplight falls across her face. A purpling bruise is blossoming along her cheekbone. There's something I need to give to my fiancé, Pernisk. Only he doesn't seem to go anywhere without his new friends, and they're not exactly pleasant company. Who hit you? She shakes her head. I know how this looks, but you don't understand. It's not like Pernisk. It's these new friends of his. They brought out the worst in him. Tell me about these new friends. They come into our house with their dead eyes and their black teeth. I'm not a fool, I know what it means. Pernisk makes me leave when they show up. But it's obviously what they come to do. Last time they came, I told them to get out. Let them have their fun somewhere in the gift, but not under my roof. She scowls and then winces, her fingertips gently probing her bruise. Swift changes you, I guess. The Pernisk I knew wouldn't have squashed a spider. I never thought he'd. She trails off, still feeling the swollen, discolored flesh. I thought Swift just made people lay around not doing much. Kenra shrugs. I don't really know. Seemed better than believing he's always been this way. Maybe I could talk to him. Her hand rests on the table and she clenches it into a white-knuckled fist. There's nothing more to say to him. We're finished. I just want to give this back to him and have a clean break. She opens her hand and the ring clatters onto the table. It was his grandmother's. Even after this, I don't have the heart to sell it off. But if I go back there myself, I know what will happen. I lose my temper and I'll probably wind up with another one of these. She points to her bruise. I wouldn't normally hand this off to a stranger, but people say you've got a good heart. If you give this back to him, he'll know we're done. I'll take this ring to Pernisk then. She looks at you and nods. The house is just north of her. Just please don't hurt him. I'm sending someone with your charm to keep anyone from getting hurt again. That goes for Pornisk as well as me. Let's see. Something unusual is happening at the house in Copperline. A man named Pernisk is acting strangely. Kenra asked me to return her the betrothal ring Pernisk gave her. She told me that Pernisk's house, located next to the marketplace in Copperline. Is his ring in the quest? Yes. A gold band laced with other accents. Okay. let's talk to the bartender.
Welcome.
The man behind the bar is nearly the size of an amoma. A handle protrudes from his back, and his face is set in stoic frown. He gives you a small nod. Here for a drink? There's a tiny pewter cup in front of him. He turns it in one broad hand, but doesn't drink from it. This is a level place. It was founded in the early days of the Ruden independence by a traveling scholar named Errol of Levi. He wanted a place where kids of all backgrounds could gather and hash out the issues facing their new country. He rested his elbows on the polished wood of the bar. It didn't take long for the place to fill up. Brackenbury aristocrats argued with docks workers from the gift, while soldiers wrangled with politicians. The Woodens have never been known to turn down an argument. He takes a sip from a tiny cup. What happened next? Soon, Kith were coming from the farms and settlements too. He waves at the door, as if expecting a crowd to bustle in. This place got even more popular with the Valian sailors than the salty must, and that was the problem. He drains his cup. No matter what people say about fire-mindedness and civil debate, there's only so much people will tolerate. Errol found himself on the wrong side of an argument with the wrong Thane, and when he disappeared a few days later, some said it was the work of the Thane. He shrugs, spreading his hands over the bar as he surveys the room, but Errol knew which way the wind was blowing. If you ask me, he skipped town. He hid out somewhere, hoping for rational minds to prevail in Defiance Bay. He cracks a wry grin. If only he could see it now. Tell me about yourself. Name's Bishop. Used to be a scholar of Berath. Now I run the Goose and Fox and keep the regulars in line. He shifts and you see a warhammer strapped to his back. What more is there to tell? How do you go from religion to taverns? The journey isn't as long as you'd think. I started with the Hollowborn, and with this. He takes a black bottle from under the bar and fills the pewter cup. It was my sister's son. He takes a drink. At the beginning of Vaidwan's legacy, he was one of the first. I never expected there would be so many after him. Tragedy is part of the cycle, but it's followed by rebirth. Yet every year, more parents were grieving for their hollowborn children, and the gods were silent. So, you lost your faith? He leans forward, crossing his arms on the bar. Barath promised rebirth. Cycles, but the only cycle I found was this one. He taps the bar. Have a drink, have another, and another until I couldn't remember how I got home. Wake up, come back. I finally woke up one day to see my family had packed up and left. For all I know, they'd left days before and I just hadn't noticed. But they were gone, so I came here. I've cleaned up since then, not that I've found my answers. He tosses the cup back. I've just stopped asking questions. I'll order some refreshments. Okay, let's buy this. Common on for 25 copper. Ooh. This one with mechanics would be good, but maybe later. Let's exchange the cat for the doggy.
Hello.
Nothing else. Goodbye.
Oh?
Check the upper floor.
I'll see what I can find.
Scattered amongst such titles as Flora of the Living Lands, Unity in Disunity, A History of the Deadfire Archipelago, and treatises on the Culkin people are half-dozen travel journals held together with twine.
Hail and well met.
An Orlan man relaxes with his feet propped on the table. Patches of dark brown skin peek out from under a full mane of blue-green hair. He and the Orlan woman with him exchange laughs and comments with the trio at the nearby table, and he spins a dagger in his hand. His hazel eyes watch you. You look like you've seen a night or two in the wilds. Joining us for a drink? Who are all of you? The name's Two-Tone Weasel. The lady next to me is Key. We had our fun with the expeditions, but we were hoping to enjoy a little peace and quiet. For the next few weeks, anyway. A man at the next table nods at you. I'm Dreadshot Deaden. This is Hardy and Ilfa. We were part of separate expedition teams, but we both suffered losses and decided to band together. He ticks several items off his fingers. Beasts, barbarians, biovacs. It's a dangerous time to be an adventurer, but a prosperous one too. At the next table, Deaden raises his glass. And here's to many more prosperous journeys. Is there something else you wanted? Let's talk to Kay. The Orlan woman nods at you, a cup of wine in hand and a scepter across her lap. Ilfa nods at you, a pint in one hand and a mace slung over her shoulder. Deaden is busy filling a spur of small round blood. A burly Amoa raises a hand in greeting.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
Old Valia, Sound Counts, circa 2670 AI. Okay, no stealing. This one.
I can get it to spill its secrets.
This one was not trapped or controlled by anyone. This one is someone else's property. The pages of these old books are crisp and fragrant with the salt of a sea breeze. Okay, that's all for now. These days it's rare to find folks who do so much for strangers. Some of the place they put at the amphitheater are quite good. So he is next to the marketplace in Cooper Lane. So marketplace is here, and here is his house. Okay, let's check this first and then go to Bunsinger house.
And what does the flame reveal?
Gordy. Psst, over here, mister. A young boy watches the passers-by and counts a grimy handful of coins. His face and arms are smudged with dirt, but except for the grass stains, his clothes are in good condition. As you approach, he blinks and makes a quick, furtive effort to pocket his coins. Hey mister, want to know a secret? He wipes his nose with a sleeve. I know a real good secret. Looks like we got a little hustler here. Someone raised this kid right. Right, I'm sure a squeaky voiced kid knows amazing things about this city. Uh, no. Really? What is it? He shrugs and claps his hands behind his back, kicking a loose pebble. I just saw folks hiding some really neat things. I could show you where, but Mom and Dad told me not to talk to strangers. His eyes slowly roll up at you. But maybe you could help me with something. Then we wouldn't be strangers. Help you with what? Gordy's voice suddenly rises in pitch and tempo. The Crucible Knight have these daggers made of March steel. It's the best steel around, except for Durgan steel, which doesn't count because no one makes it anymore. He stops long enough to catch his breath. Anyway, there's this merchant over by the expedition hall, and he has a dagger made of real March steel. His eyes grow large and round. He said he wouldn't sell it to me because I'm a kid, and kids don't know anything about daggers. But that's not true. I know lots about daggers. I know about the different kinds of steel. I know how the Crucible Knights make them in a forge. I know that the tip can pierce low gauge scale armor, and one that's good and sharp can cut through bone. See, I know plenty about daggers, and I really, really want this one. And if you could just get it for me, I promise I'll never ever ask anyone for anything ever again. In Masuk, we begin training our daughters with the hunting knife as soon as they can talk. Many can field a, many can field dress a hair before their 10th birthday. She frowns. I wouldn't trust this kid with a butter knife. Nice. I use this. You're too young to play with knives. I'm sure your parents told you that, or you wouldn't be asking me. But if I'm going to be a real warrior, I have to start training young, just like the heroes in the stories. I just know I was a great warrior in previous life. My mom even says I have an old soul. Fine, I'll help you. Gordy jumps up and down, whooping and hollering. I knew a real adventurer would understand. He points to a large building. There's a big merchant over by Admeth then who sells weapons. He's the one with the dagger. I wailed, I'll wait right here for you. His gaptoothed grin stretched from ear to ear. Find the March Steel dagger. Something secret. Gordy, a child in Cooperline, told me he knows of a place where people hide really special things. He said he'd showed it to me if I get him a Marsh Steel dagger. Gordy told me that a merchant selling weaponry near the expedition hall has the dagger. So,
I'll take a look.
2 quests already in Cooperline. Let's see what can we find. Okay. The road to Brackenbury is unlocked. No catacombs for me yet. Okay. Let's go for the dagger. Oh, Heather wants to talk to us. Okay.
The dozens. Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Soon there'd be less of them.
What do you have against the dozens? Ah, nothing serious. Nothing that I don't have against a lot of folks anyway. The dozens, they like to take things into their own hands. Gets ugly sometimes. We don't have 'em in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home there. They picked that name so they could do what they wanted and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with honor or sacrifice. They like to invoke Magran too, when they especially want to feel right. Somehow, I don't think she'd be too impressed with that lot. I'm sure she'd like to set them on fire anytime they used her name. But the gods probably got rules against that kind of thing. Hmm. People hide behind symbols so they can't be questioned. The Duck's a reasonable man. Maybe while we're in Defiance Bay, we can get him to force people to call themselves what they are. Don't imagine they'd have as many members if they called themselves the loudmouth sheep fuckers. Hmm, why do they call themselves the Dozens? Was 12 Dirwoodens stood outside Helgot's citadel waiting for Waidwen to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate. So that's why they did. Godhammer? That's what they call the bomb they blew up Waidwen with. Don't know much about it other than that. Anything kills a living god. Guess you gotta name it. Let's continue. Good idea. Crumbled loaves and shredded flyers float on the waters. Most of the ruins worth exploring out past Dirford. I didn't want to come here, but my village wasn't safe anymore. Maybe we could go down for a quick look and come right back out, say we found nothing. What's this we? Dalton's your friend, not mine.
Slow and silent.
Excuse me. Let's go here first. Beer. No clue what is this. Let's go here for a second. The shields have been battered and scarred in long ago battles.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
Okay, let's check this house first.
I can get it to spill its secrets. It's done.
Okay, you haven't seen me. Right, everyone knows the plan. Up the wall and in the window. Grab the gel for pretty little lord. We got it. Listen, dwarf, if I have to. Langdon, we have company. Greetings. Dwarf eyes you suspiciously and hides his pistol behind his back. You, looking for someone? Because this isn't the best. Langdon rounds on the dwarfs. Idiot, they're probably with the Crucible Knights. You made a grave mistake coming here. He raises his blade. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's try to survive this.
That's it!
Eloth. No. Eloth will go here. Fine repair. Thieves' leather. A two-story job. I've learned of a plot to rob a Brackenbury nobleman, Lord Raymond, and a letter that describes the plans in detail. Then tells somebody about the plot. I unintentionally thwarted the would-be thieves when I stumbled upon their hideout. Their note lays out instructions for breaking into Lord Raymond's manor and stealing something called the Heart of White March. The letter would probably be of interest to both Lord Raymond or someone with the initials AD. Let's check the letter. Okay, it is. Our contact inside Redmond Manor will leave a second story window ajar. He's confirmed the location of the heart of the White March in a hidden chamber. Get your crew together and head to Brackenbury before Lord Raymond moves the javel. AD. A few bedrolls and a spare tunics are bundled in the corner. Long jagged tears slice across the garden scene in this painting.
I'll take a look.
Certainly.
Let's check it a little bit here, if we can't find anything hidden. Probably not. Oh, I was
See now what the
wrong.
flame has shown us?
Adra. Muddy boot prints and splotched of ale stains the bed sheets. Trap.
What have we here?
Bloodstone. Muddy boot prints and splotches of ale stain the bed sheets. And another Laura book. Okay, that's it.
And what does the flame reveal?
Poultry. Food. Let's check it a little bit and then the market. A fish. The shields have been battered and scarred in long ago battles. Business around here took a hit when Stalwart's mines dried up. Okay, this will be the cursed house, but let's loot the keg and then check the marketplace. Heritage Hill claims another curious soul. Please move along, I have a long list to get through. Let's take to Laura.
Welcome.
The young woman stands by a cart, watching the crowd with large, bright eyes that focus on you as you approach. Take your time, traveler. If you're looking for enchanted scrolls or garb, you come to the right place. Are you selling a dagger made of March steel? She stands on the tips of her toes and points to a stall between the stairs. You must be looking for Igrun. See that tall Amawa over there? He sells weaponry. Anything else what I can do for you? Show me your wares. Oi. This could be nice. But 14k. This integrant piece has been created for a summon. Maybe when I will have too much money. Okay, let's check another.
Welcome.
Maybe other rings. Well, no. Hmm, maybe later. Hello again, the Orlan woman says in a familiar tone. Thanks for visiting my store. I'm still trying to recover from losing that cargo, she says with a huff. My inventory isn't what it used to be, but hopefully I've got something you like. Show me your wares. Too much poison stuff. I mean trap stuff. Oh, this is the woman we helped long time ago. But we decided to save some very poor folks.
Silence surrounds me. Hail and well met.
The merchant smiles brightly. Well met, traveler. Are you interested in purchasing any rations for your journeys? Are you selling a dagger made of March steel? Narmer blinks at you. Apologies, but I sell no weapons here, only fruits, vegetables and meat. Would you be interested in any of those? Show me your wares. Oh, dragon meat too costly. Yeah, maybe later. Oh, let's talk to Igron.
Greetings.
Igron stands behind a stall, polishing a broadsword. The patterned flesh around his eyes is crinkled with age, and the muscles in his arms are knotty and lean. But he holds the weapon with ease. He nods at you. Come to take a look? You won't find a finer collection of armor and weaponry in Defiance Bay. Outside Sonil's, of course. He flashes a crooked grin. Uh, what's so special about Sonild? She operates in the expedition hall. He jerks a thumb over his shoulder, sells the best equipment in the city, but Venom keeps her on a short leash, keeps her fine inventory reserved for chartered expeditionists, members of the dozen, and anyone else he takes a liking to. I'm looking for a particular dagger made of March steel. Just like the Crucible Knights use? Let me guess, you've been talking to that kid, right? He looks and shakes his head. I'd be tempted to sell it to you anyways and let the little rascal learn his lesson, but a pack of adventurers already took it off my hands. Uh, if March steel daggers only given to Crucible Knights, how did you get your hands on one? Eager pauses mid-polish, his claws slowing over the blade. A lot of steel passes through my hands, friend. I don't make it my business to ask where it all comes from. Uh, Fair enough, I don't mean to pry. Anything in particular you would like to see? Those adventurers you sold the dagger to, where are they now? Folk like that only visit Copperland to crew up at Edmesden Expedition Hall or down at Pint at the Goose and Fox, and since they weren't headed into the den, well, you got my best guess. Tell me more about the dagger. He oils the cloth in his hand, made out of high purity iron ore that comes out of the White Marsh Mountains. Traditionally, the smiths at the Crucible Keep have smelted it into daggers and swords, which they only give to the Knights of the Crucible. Of course, I'd be surprised if that kid didn't already tell you all of this, he grins. Let me see what you have for sale. Uh, Scepter, 9,000. Hmm. We will need to say, I will have to save a little bit more. Igrun, a weapon and armor merchant, told me that he already sold the dagger to a band of adventurers. He guessed that they were headed to Goose and Fox, a tavern in Copperline. And I know who these adventurers might be. So, let's go to solve this quest first. And then maybe call it a day for today. Let's see if we can make a deal with them.
How do you do?
Back again, I see. Did you buy a March steel dagger from Migran? He displays the blade on a flat palm. I did, and a fine piece it is. I don't know any more circulating in the city. Outside the steel in the Crucible Keep, of course. Hmm. I was trying to get it for a kid named Gordy. He blinks and kicks his feet off the table. A kid! This isn't a toy, you know. Get him a wooden sword. The Orlan woman leans over and punches his arm. Come on, Wiggle. If our friend here is willing to pay, what's the harm? Plenty, actually. That kid will probably poke his eye out. Besides, I plan to use this dagger. How much would it take for you to change your mind? He turns the blade in the light, admiring it, saying as how there's a sudden demand for this 100 pence seems fair. Demand isn't as high as you think. Chances are good that dagger was stolen or looted off of one of the knights. In that case, I'm probably doing you a favor. He frowns. Can't be too careful around the authorities these days, especially as an Orlon. Fine, I'll sell it, but not for less than 50. I'm getting my money back at the very least. Deal. He hands you the dagger, held first. Pleasure doing business with you. Is there something else you wanted? Leave. I got the March Steel dagger from Weasel. Gord is looking forward to getting it, and I'm looking forward to hearing his big secret. Return to Gorley in Copper Lane. Gordy bounces on the pavement. Did you get it? Do you have the dagger? Can I see it? I have the dagger right here. Gordy stops bouncing and stares at it, gaping in awe. It's so sharp. Give Gordy the dagger. A deal's a deal. Here you go. He snatches it out of the air, heedless of anything else. He yanks it out of its sheath and holds the blade up to the light. I'm going to be just like the Crucible Knights, he saw, and chops at the air. He flips the weapon into the air and grabs at the hilt, almost slicing his palms open in the process. His eyes dart away from yours as he sheaths the dagger. So, about that secret, Gordy puts his hand up to his mouth and whispers loudly. I saw one of the actors hide something under a loose stone near the theater. Probably nothing as good as a March Steel dagger, though. Thank you for telling me, Gordy. Bye. I got the March Steel dagger from. Okay, Gordy and I made a fair trade. I gave him his dagger and he told me about the loose brick by the theater. Okay, let's get that stuff and
Laying low.
you were so lovely back then. Okay, I will be back at you, Dalton. Journal. Crumbled loaves and shredded flyers float on the waters. Loyal, your time has come, Sigram. Your life is at its end. Oh, Lovedan, she calls to me, the pallid night. And you have such poor luck with women as it is. I cannot die yet, my children. What of my children? But you have no children. Of course I do, you fool. A wealth of them. Great armful of golden. That is golden. Heart tots all of whom I love dearly. So this is the secret.
Now here's something.
Oaken scarab figurine. Blackson is what? Perception. Ha! What does this do? 3 wood beetle. This wooden beetle has had lifelike detail carefully burned into the carved shell. Tiny barbs are etched onto its legs, and its folded wings bear mazy patterns. So, who will get it? Sagani. Okay, so I think that will be it for today. We made a little progress to getting to the Defiance Bay and solved the first small task. That tomorrow we'll be talking to probably some of these people here. The Stellar's line on rides Mokka, great hero of our tale. Though the road is long and the fighting fears, my courage will not fail. Her soul shines bright, her heart is true, but ahead lie greater dangers. The 100 poison arrows of the Crimson Serpent Rangers. Okay, I'm getting too carried away by the talks of the NPCs. So, again, this will be it for today. In the next episode, we will be probably finishing this one quest and visiting a few more places in Copper Lane before moving forward with the main quest. So, thanks a lot for watching and coming by, and if you liked my Let's Play, feel free to follow me or subscribe to my YouTube channel where this episode will be published soon. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.